I don't think Twerts is the name you're looking for.
We're live. Okay. So, sorry folks, had to shrink down the cameras because we have a new player who will be joining at some point during tonight's session. Nico, or Follow Nico for long, is going to be joining us and introducing his character at some point. So we are back up to the huge, enormous 8-player sized game, which is awesome. And maybe we'll give you guys a fighting chance in the Wildlands campaign. Okay, I may experiment with the size of the cameras. So, guys, the Wildlands. Last time there were some momentous events that occurred. We had... Oh, I'm getting echo all of a sudden from somewhere. Is it from me? Am I giving myself echo? I think I gave myself echo.
Lighting up in Discord.
Yep. Gave myself echo. It was me. It was me. You're all golden. Okay. So you were taken to prison. The party and the addition to the party was which are these scaly folk, 2 kobolds and a lizard folk who were conducting some kind of investigation, showed up immediately after the murder of Bella's boyfriend by Godrose the Phantom, and started asking questions related to that. In addition, Bella had a very important event to go to. Her mother's play, the performance that her mother's troupe of actors was going to be putting on. They were setting up in Liberty Square in West Head. And Bella did not want to miss it, as it seemed that there was a lot of mysterious goings-on related to this play. So, despite the intense grief and real tears shed by the party, heyo Taladar in the chat, despite the real tears shed, everyone gathered up their things and headed to Liberty Square to jump on this opportunity to meet Bella's mother. And meet her you did. But it was this meeting that led to you getting imprisoned for the... your picnic was attacked. The players were attacked by guards wearing masks and with their badges, their bronze bullhorns badges removed. The Order of the Sacred Bull was not upon their chest. However, you slew them, and this was the source of the trouble, as the guard, the more elite guards, showed up, took charge of the situation, immediately realized that you guys had killed guards, but there were mysterious circumstances surrounding that. And through a combination of bureaucracy and 7 failed charisma checks, You ended up getting arrested. All of you. And thrown in the old governor's dungeon. Below the property of, or the estate of a particular family in the city, which is the family whose scion is the captain of the Order of the Sacred Bull, the Guards. So it's the family that kind of controls that aspect of the city's politics. In prison, you had to wait. You met, well, you didn't really meet, but you became aware of two other prisoners, a sick dwarf and a somewhat grasping merchant type. You also got to know this Minotaur quite well, Rethom. Well, I wouldn't say you got to know him quite well, but he has been kind of leading the guards that have been making sure you stay put. You also ended up testing the prison's defenses, which I'll come to in a moment. Because that very night, was a full moon. And one among you has a rather strange transformation occur when a full moon arrives. Bref, of course, turning into a were-tiger. The beast was let out, and what's worse, he was locked in a cage with Mavra, the dwarf fighter, and she without her weapons or armor or any defenses. Bref, in this transformed state, was not himself, not in control, and the curse, this bestial curse that he picked up from an encounter being ambushed by some bandits a while back, caused him to rip Mavra to shreds. She very nearly went down, but through a combination of the party bravely using magic in a prison designed to discourage that, shall we say, and some healing magic and some quick thinking and calling of the guards by all of you, particularly Ziklu, you managed to save Mavra. In so doing, your newfound friendship was kind of past the test of fire, as it were, with the three scaly folk who have found themselves thrown into these dire straits along with the rest of the party. And with all of the magic being thrown around, I suppose that is the explanation for the glowing crocodile over here that heals people.
A spell Lindsay did not make up.
Shines with benevolence.
Excellent. Okay, so just to bring us all the way current, Rethom, the Minotaur elite guard of the Order of the Sacred Bull, made sure that you were all going to stay put, and after kind of having revealed to him all of the magical powers available to many of you, he and the human guards returned bearing some strange manacles. These manacles are etched with semi-glowing runes, dimly glowing runes, and the metal is cold to the touch, strangely, magically cold. It has a deadening effect. And they proceed to lock these manacles around the limbs of Typha the Third, of Frasher, who had the appearing and disappearing sword, of Bella and Akiri. Yes?
How many manacles do they need for Akiri? Just 4?
They just put one. It goes around your neck.
She doesn't like that.
And it's cold, and it makes your whole body feel cold. And somehow, I said it has a deadening effect, which I means like, you know how when you've had a really long day, you got up super early, went to the coffee shop, you worked a triple shift, and you get home and it's dark again, and your body is just strung out and exhausted. But you are also, and sometimes when that happens, you still have energy. Like you're still thinking and moving around, but like something is off. Like there's like some, you still feel the exhaustion, even though it isn't necessarily directly affecting you. That's how it feels when these manacles are locked around your necks. These chains go around your necks and then are bolted to the wall. And they're kind of long, but very annoying. And they also have this weird magical enchantment upon them that immediately affects you. And you feel cut off. You know, you feel cut off from something. And while they are doing this, they kind of go from cell to cell to accomplish this. The Minotaur and the 3 human guards are grim, quiet, eyeing you with suspicion and respect. Not even the guy with the purple feather, who is kind of being vindictive and nasty. Maybe he's kind of an exception. He still is like trying to spook you about Le Donjon Oublié. But for the most part, they are pretty grim and quiet as they do this. Oh, I almost forgot to mention in the recap. An old friend, well, actually a fairly newish friend, old as of a week or 2 ago, if I recall correctly. I don't remember how long you guys have been in West Head. An old friend of Ziklu, Frasher, and Typha came into the prison and kind of exchanged some words with all of you, and especially Bella and Frasher, if I recall correctly, about what happened and about getting you out of here in a legal and perhaps less problematic way than some other possibilities. However, she said it would take time. This was Nuala, Officer Nuala Quinzuman, an elven woman who seems to be rather high up and has magisterial powers in when urgently called upon. Anyway, so she said it would take her some time to disentangle all of the factions and bureaucracy and politics of the simple fact that you guys may have been justified, but you still killed a bunch of guards, a bunch of town guards in West Head.
Bad guy guards.
Right. So she says it may take some time for this to all play out. She has a high degree of confidence that she can, but she says, unless you have some way of circumventing all of that red tape, it's going to take some time for her to work out a way to keep all of these powerful political factions happy and get you guys out of the old governor's dungeon.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Was she doing like a wink, wink, nod, nod while she was pointing at the skull hole? When she said some way of getting out of...
She wasn't, but you did have a conversation with both the guy with the purple feather in his hat, who was kind of explicitly doing that, but also trying to spook you guys about it. And this guy, the guy who sweeps up in the dungeon, he told you a lot of useful facts about this skull carved into the wall with stairs going down into darkness, out of which strange sounds have been coming. So I told that all a little bit out of order, because the last thing that happened was actually the were-tiger nonsense and the getting locked up in these weird manacles, these enchanted manacles. So everything else happened before that. That's only the latest crisis. Okay. There was a lot to recap. But we did it. So that's the current state of things as we begin tonight's session. You guys have been chained up. And actually the enchanted chains, they're really more of a collar. And they kind of attach that with like mundane chains to the wall. And Rethalm kind of grunts. He kind of gives you guys a nod, like he kind of almost like he understands that you might not deserve this, but he says, "I'm afraid for our protection and yours, we cannot allow any more magical shenanigans." That ought to keep you. And he looks directly at Typha and says, "And remember, prison is supposed to be boring."
Cold.
And with that, this is all happening basically early in the morning of the following day. They're going to keep an eye on you, but they will leave you alone in that state. And so there you are. Those of you with these weird collars and manacles, you feel weirdly cut off. You definitely feel this enchantment upon you. Nobody goes into the prison room with Bref.
Gee, I wonder why.
But as the sun rises outside, which some of you are tuned in enough to nature to sense, Bref does shrink back, his fur retracting, and with his clothes torn and destroyed, he eventually can be found curled up in the hay in the cell.
Question that I thought about over the week but didn't ask while we were in the middle of the session.
Okay.
Did the pink mohawk translate over into his tiger form?
Actually, oddly enough, his hair looks more orange.
But the question is, did the mohawk translate?
Not really.
Dang it.
I see what you're saying. You know what? Yeah, it did. Because the hair kind of grows out. The hair grows out, but it doesn't, like, replace the hair that's already there. And he becomes this freakish hybrid that's very disturbing to look at with, like, long fingernails. So, yes, he basically, it grew longer. His pink mohawk grew longer because there was more hair growing up underneath it. And it was quite a strange and colorful sight.
I'm sure Maver appreciated it. Like, wow, this is
As
so
he's-
colorful as she's getting like shredded.
Exactly.
You have to stop and enjoy the little things in life.
She's like watching him get closer and like, huh, that looks absolutely ridiculous.
You know, it's funny. The last time I was here, Bref also involuntarily tried to kill someone.
Oh, so you've noticed a pattern.
I mean, yeah.
We have since been warned about his history with curses.
Lots of curses.
So many.
Yeah, Nico is actually a one-shot character while he was under the influence of the last curse, which was you'll probably hear about. He brings it up a lot.
So, due to exhaustion, you'll probably sleep late the next morning, wake up cold and uncomfortable.
I was gonna say that.
Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say that Akiri's gonna curl up with Typha.
Yay! She's so happy for any source of warmth. She snuggles into that soft down. You hear a sound that's like a purr, but also like a hit.
Like a
Akiri's
baby
like, I have
alligator
the best
squeaking.
sentient weird
Yes.
cat I've ever had.
Awesome. Let's see. You find that, unless somebody wants to do something immediately upon, if anybody wants to do something, feel free to interrupt me. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep going.
Just one question. I'm assuming Breath is like out cold. Is that correct?
He is. He is. And his hair kind of has either retracted or fallen out, but the fur, I mean. But He, you can see from over there, he looks, just, his hair is more orange than it used to be. It's a little bit redder. Okay. They will bring you guys breakfast. It is warm, essentially warm oatmeal. A kind of a gruel. And, but it's not unbearably awful. And, they will stop and check on the sick dwarf coughing in her cell. And you can smell that they're bringing her, like, chicken soup or something.
Hot damn.
Can someone please get a disease?
That probably wakes Bref up. Bref, you twitch. And you're very confused because you dreamed. You dreamed of darkness and then fury. You had red dreams of blood and hunger and ripping and tearing and this need to grip and tear and bite. You wake up involuntarily spasming with a start. Just like that. And there's a guy with his eyes wide like this, standing at the gate, holding like some clothes and a blanket.
I stand up unashamedly.
He blinks, kind of pushes the mound of cloth through the bars and says, "Get your damn clothes on, beast."
Well, that's not very nice. But I do. I
That's
get
a good
my
point
damn
of
clothes
order.
on.
Have we ever does he know what he is? Have we ever talked about this with Bref? I don't
We
remember.
told him last time when
I think
we thought he killed Ornar.
You mean, does he
Okay.
know why he's shorter than the rest of us?
And also when in a Curious home, when I woke up the next morning and there was that guy in the woods, he and I had a chat about it. So
Okay, just making sure, because I was like, wait, hold up. Does he even know what's going on? I don't remember.
I mean, Bref rarely knows what's going on.
That's
But in
fair.
this case, yes. But yes, I get dressed, and having survived on hardtack before, this gruel is pretty good, even if it's not chicken soup.
Okay. Well, after that, time passes kind of unbearably slowly. There's nothing to do but sit and wait. You guys can talk. You can declare that you're doing things. Time will pass. The hours will crawl by. And unless you want to say something, a whole day will pass.
Do we just want to go in the big skull hole? This is boring.
Well, I think we have to get Mavra, all healed and stuff.
Why? What
Okay.
happened to her?
And he tried to eat her, Breath.
You,
Oh.
Breath. You happened to Breath.
Oh. I'm sorry.
You're
Man
real
thing
bad
tried to eat
shapeshifter.
dwarf thing.
I'm sorry, Mavra. I didn't mean to.
Why can't you control cats? It's easy turning cat. I can't do it now, but I'll show you later. And then you turn back. Why you hurt?
Oh, because another person scratched me, and after they scratched me, the moon makes it happen, and I don't know how to stop the moon.
I'm going to assume Typha has never heard of this in the swamp, and she just looks at you like you're from another planet.
He has moon sickness.
Moon sickness?
Stay back.
Hmm. She shrinks back from the bars.
But Moondisk is not down here. How does it make you turn into cat thing?
Well, it's not the light of the moon. There's another force in it. I don't understand. It's like the same type of force that makes the tides move in the sea. And so even if it's a cloudy night and you can't see the moon, the tides still go in and out.
So, witches.
Maybe. Do you think there are witches on the moon?
I do now.
We gotta go to the moon and fight the witches. Bella, can we go to the moon? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Sure.
Bella's
Sure.
real smart about this stuff, you guys.
We'll figure it out, Breath. Well, I'm sure someone's done it at some point. Some crazy wizard.
Okay, that's our next stop after we get out of here. Cure my moon sickness by killing the moon witches. Okay, but are we going in the skull hole? Because, seriously, this is so boring in here.
Well, now that we've had a nice long rest, I hope. Have we had a long rest? Out of character, Matt. Have we had a long rest? Max, have we had a long rest?
Actually, no.
Dang it.
You've had a short rest. You've had multiple short rests, possibly. But you have not managed to get a good night's sleep.
Thrasher got like an hour, though, right?
Yeah.
Sweet, that's all he needs.
Congratulations on being a warlock.
Okay, I say we wait a day or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely down with a long rest. I'm guessing Bref probably didn't either, so we can just, if we're all tired, we can just nap now and then, yeah.
Not that there's much else we can do.
I mean, Ziklu's definitely happy to be a night owl.
So you rest. Outside of your view, for the most part, you hear the occasional comings and goings of the guards. During meal times, they come by, bang the bars of your cell, and push in a bowl of gruel or some such. There was also the fried fish the one time that that the guy cooked up the one who was also sweeping. And in the evening, you only know it's evening because it's the third meal. Rethom comes around the corner. The humans are carrying your food. And Rethom is carrying a paper about the size and shape of a letter. And he kind of looks down at it, grunts. And he looks up at Ziklu. And he says, "You behaved as a noble prisoner should. So I am sorry that we cannot necessarily honor your desire to be alone."
It's okay, bull friend. Who's my new room friend?
He looks to the side. "How about this human?" The guy says, the guy looks up in green and he's like, "What? You want to lock me in with a... Sure, great. I don't need your permission." He unlocks the door, transfers you over, and relocks you in there. Glances down at the letter again. He unlocks this gate and gestures to Mavra. "Come here."
Okay.
There are sounds of more guards around the corner, by the way. I just haven't put them on the map. I guess I could. Not her. But he looks over his shoulder. He says, "You're still hurt. Looks as though your friend healed your injuries partially. Would you like to see a doctor?"
I guess.
I can help her.
"You are not permitted to cast magical spells in prison."
Okay. Sorry, Mavra.
"A doctor will be called for you." He, gestures. "Come. We're transferring you to the other cell."
Okay.
Go ahead and make an insight check for me, Mavra, as you're transferred.
Nice.
22.
He hides it well. But both Rethom and the human soldiers are looking at you with a certain suspicion.
And I have no idea why.
You have high insight, you're not psychic. They seem a little tense about you. He puts you in the cage, and then, or in the different cell, and then walks over to here and looks over at Bella. Bella, what is your current state?
Just hanging out, I guess. I mean, eating dinner probably.
Join the cuddle puddle.
No, that's okay.
Okay. So you don't appear like super emotionally distraught or anything like that?
She probably just still has like serious bitch face going on.
Okay.
She's in a bad mood, so she'll kind of scowl at him.
Okay. He
I
seems...
appreciate you not having casual bitch face.
Is very professional bitch face.
Black tie.
Hey,
If
Grimslag.
necessary.
I forgot something, but I was going to make a channel, or we can just do it. If you guys want to give the players suggestions, a lot of the players don't come on the Twitch channel because there would be spoilers potentially if they saw something on my screen. But if you want to give them suggestions, you can do that in the Super Commoner Discord if you want.
Heck yeah. Give us ways to
Thrasher
drag
will
Max
eat
nuts.
literally anything you tell me to have meat.
All right. So the... Okay. He comes up to the bars. He taps his massive fist against the bars. Bang, bang. Lady Enderal.
Yeah.
I have some notes here for you.
I'll take them.
He reads them to you rather than handing you the letters.
That's very strange. But okay.
One is from Nuala Quinzuman.
Right.
It is basically saying, I've started legal proceedings to get you and your retinue, Lady Enderal, released and cleared of all charges. However, please, in his voice, please do not complicate things by having more incidents or letting any wild animals off their leash. Obey the rules, and you will go free after a time. And there's some bureaucracy that she speaks of, which I won't go into. It's talking about the various forms that have to be signed, and the different people that have to be kind of convinced to let things go through. But the latter part of it is, I have arranged to have the body claimed for your friend, and apparently there was one required to be dealt with on your ship.
I forgot about that. We never managed to transfer his body.
Hmm.
How many people have you people killed?
So
we
many.
freed him.
Yeah.
It was an immortality curse that got lifted.
Technically, every person we've killed has, like, technically been freeing them. It's all a good cause.
More curses, more killing people, freeing them.
Hey, to be fair, killing someone is a good way to get rid of a curse.
Those fake guards definitely seemed pretty trapped by their mortality.
Definitely.
Very efficient. No
Faces
spell
were
slots
covered.
wasted on remove curse.
The okay. The letter reads, to have your companions interred in state in the Ushzak pyramid will cost for a standard burial will cost 30 pieces of gold. There are more fancy funerals available, or they can simply cremate the two bodies, and in which case the fee would only be a single copper piece processing fee.
I see. And what's the other note?
The other one, he kind of checks thoroughly and hands over to you. And it is man, I should have created, if this hadn't been in a crazy week, I would have had a handout for you. But it is from Ariella Beaumont in a very elaborate cursive handwriting that you recognize.
I knew it. What does she have to say for herself?
It reads, well, the first thing you're going to notice is that a section of it has been censored.
That's interesting.
A section of it has been censored. There's a paragraph at the beginning. And one at the end that have been blacked out with ink. However, the middle reads, well, basically it's a message somewhat like you, somewhat unlike how your mother normally sounds. It's very emotive. It's very sympathetic. She writes that she desperately hopes that you are all right. She says she has exacted multiple assurances from this officer Quinzuman and has spoken to, quote, that big, hairy, horned man at the prison to ensure that you are being well taken care of. And she hopes that you and all of your friends will go free soon. She claims to be advocating for you. And she gives a temporary address, which is a wagon, currently staying in Liberty Square, just on the edge of on the estate of Lady Thornsey. And says she will be your agent if you need anything done in the city.
Interesting. Can I make an insight check on the text?
Yes.
It's just a 10.
The word agent does seem significant. Might have been one of the many code words that your father talked about back in the day as kind of a private family code between you guys.
All right. Well, I'll look at the Minotaur and I'll say, so you've met my mother? Is there a particular reason why she wouldn't be allowed to come and visit me?
He points with his thumb over his shoulder to the other cell across from you.
Because of breath?
There's far too much magic and questionable incidents occurring, which is why I'm going to have to take that letter back from you.
I see. Well, all right. I'll give it back to him. I'm curious to know what exactly you think I'm going to do with this letter, considering that you seem to have taken out all the interesting bits.
Do you wish to write a response?
Yes, I do.
Or send out any notes of your own?
Yes. Would I be allowed to have pen and paper in order to compose them?
He reaches into a satchel that you hadn't noticed before and hands you a quill, an ink pot, and 3 pieces of paper.
Nice.
Don't be too long about it. I'm going to have to watch.
Okay. I'm going to write a note back to Nuada, what's her name?
Nuala.
Nuala. I'm going to write a letter back to Nuala and say that we would like to have the bodies cremated, and that payment can be extracted from that if she wants payment, she can take it from my mother and give her the address. And then I'll write to my mother, and I will tell her that the first and last paragraphs were redacted, so I'm not sure what she was trying to say there. But I will thank her for advocating for me and assure her that everything is all right. I'll tell her that I'm still very anxious to speak with her about father, and I'll ask her if she could send for our possessions to be picked up from the inn where we've been staying, just to make sure that they're kept safe, and give her, information about our rooms and stuff like that. And then finally let her know that two of our companions who had died are to be cremated, and that if she would please take the 2 copper fee out of my purse once they pick up my belongings.
Okay. Sorry, to Nuala you said to cremate the bodies, and was there anything else?
Cremate the bodies, and that I told her that my mother could pay the 2 copper fee.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, he takes the letters back from you. We will take postage out of the belongings.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Lady Anderwall. Enjoy your stay in the old governor's prison.
Oh, it's been a real treasure.
He turns and walks away. Clip clop over the stones.
As he does, Ziklu's gonna come up and just say, actually, since Dwarf Thing was moved, can I stay with Fresher Friend?
Make a charisma check.
Okay.
Charisma persuasion.
All right. That doesn't help. 11.
It would be kind of funny if it was somehow worse. He just walks on.
Okay.
And the guy in green kind of sidles up to you and he's like, "Don't worry, you and me can talk business. You seem interesting." And at the same moment, the guy in the purple feather, after the exchange that you just had with the Minotaur, Retham, he kind of settles up and he's like, "And try not to think about what's down there. Waiting." And he points at the stairway, which, to be fair, does go into this giant stone skull carved coming out of the wall. Very different from the decor in the rest of the place. All right. Okay.
So once they've left, Ziklu's gonna look over towards Bella and just say, "So we're not gonna go into the skull hole to beat the ghost thing?"
I think Kate might have just
Yeah, she had to leave.
BRB, yeah. And in game, Bella is too consumed with everything that's going on to answer.
Okay.
Okay. More time will pass. Night begins to fall outside. You guys are fed your fried fish from this guy who comes along sweeping and kind of peers into the cage where Bref is with wide eyes. The prison cell. pushes the bowl of mush and fried fish in with the broom handle.
Thank you.
He nods. And shakes his head. Just shakes his head and walks away. You guys eat dinner. The horrifying stories of the dreadful, terrifying power of the Chaikar the Nightmare, Hachette, who apparently was imprisoned down there long ago, kind of rings in your ears, or in your memory. And there is a strange sound that echoes up from the stairwell. A clinking and a clanking. A rattling sound. But maybe it's just the echo of the chains which several of you now wear. In any case, that existential fear is soon replaced by the quiet as night falls. This time, you hear the guards still around the corner. And it seems that instead of going to their nightly rest and leaving you alone, they are still hanging around. They collect your dinner dishes. They come round and they dim, eventually, the rushlights along your cells. And each one of them pauses at Bref's cell and looks in.
Why not commission a portrait? It'll last longer.
That gets a smile. But the guy in the purple feather says, "No trouble from you tonight, beastie boy."
I'm gonna do my best. At least I'm alone this time.
He nods. Who goes to sleep?
Thrasher's been asleep this whole time.
Typha's gonna sleep.
I imagine
Yeah,
I've been trying to sleep on and off.
Yeah, I think Akiri is gonna officially, acknowledge Typha as her cuddle buddy and just grab.
Okay.
Did we?
You squeeze her too tight, and a little bit of acid comes out of her mouth and starts dissolving the hay.
It is only after dinner that Retham finally shows up with a doctor. It is somebody dressed in kind of these formal robes and looking a bit pissed off and harassed. And carrying kind of this contraption that folds out into a table. And really, it seems like they're more of an apothecary than anything else. But he doesn't seem interested in talking to you. He just wants to bind up your wounds, which have already kind of been somewhat dealt with through magic. He binds up your wounds, gives you some, kind of cleans them a bit, and basically does a heal check on you. So he heals you for 4 points, and tells you, you're tough. She'll probably feel better in the morning. He never actually addresses you directly, except to give you instructions, Mavra. But your wounds are bound up, and he tells Retham, she'll probably be better in the morning. Seems like a tough dwarf. And their people often are. He kind of glances toward the cell where a round of coughing emerges. And takes his leave. It's very cursory, the whole thing.
Thank you.
He, all right. That night, as some of you drift off to sleep, breath. You can't see it, but the curse doesn't care. You can feel it overtaking you around midnight. The transformation. The hair sprouting over your body. Because you're ready for it, you could remove your clothing if you wish.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure if it's going to happen 2 nights in a row, but Breath would think just. I don't want to take any chances. I've gone through more outfits this way, and I don't want to go through any more. And I will, in fact, sleep au natural.
Well, that is good, because the transformation does come upon you again. And this time, it's definitely less violent, but it's no less horrifying, because it's so other and it's so out of your control. And anyone who's awake and has a eye line on his cell can kind of see that he becomes, again, this twisted amalgamation of tiger and man, and just stalks around the cell at night. The guards at some point do come by, and Bref kind of rushes the prison gate and kind of crashes against it, and they startle back and return around the corner grumbling about their jobs.
So Ziklu actually would have stayed up until this point because he heard Retham mention that Mavra may have gotten it as well, so he wanted to stay up to see if Mavra turned as well.
Mavra, did you go to sleep?
Yes.
Ziklu, you see Mavra twitching in her sleep. Violently. Mavra, you are reliving, in dream, the traumatic events of the previous night. In your dream, you keep waking up. Your eyes shooting open into the dark and feeling this massive monstrosity that is like your friend, but not. His teeth, still human teeth, just longer. His face twisted and the bones snapping and breaking and reforming into this tiger-like shape. The hair bursting out with droplets of blood as it grows its way out of him. And him raking you with those fingernails and biting you with his somewhat elongated face. And this happens over and over again. The events in your dreams. And every now and then you wake up from a violent twitch and you can hear the growling in the dark.
I'm gonna move all the way to the back of the cell.
Is dwarf thing okay, fine?
Maybe.
The man in green walks up. Hey, are you up at this hour? What's going on?
Oh, sorry for noise making. I don't like light so much, so I like staying up late.
Oh, can you see in the dark?
Yes.
Ah, interesting. I definitely know some people that would like, maybe to discuss a business opportunity with you. That can be pretty useful on board a ship that travels at night.
Maybe. I already have a friend boss.
Well, think
I work
about
for.
it. It seems like your boss isn't doing you too many favors. So, maybe you're looking for a change in management. Think about it, little friend. And he reaches out to kind of like pet you.
Yeah, Zeklu will definitely recoil from that and just say...
In the dark, he kind of stumbles. So he expected, because he didn't see you move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Zeklu will he'll just say, no, Zeklu does not betray boss friend.
No, of course not. Who said anything about betrayal? Actually, my friends, they care a lot about loyalty.
Well, that's good. But my job work requires lots of unplanned travel moving.
Yeah. Well, I've got some lucrative opportunities if you and maybe your other scaly friends are interested. Let's talk in the morning. This whole prison deal, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It might turn into a business opportunity. So let's talk. I'm gonna sleep right now though. He relieves himself into the bucket and then goes back to his pile of hay.
Okay, good sleep.
Maybe it's his poorer senses, but somehow he doesn't even seem to notice the growling coming from around the corner. Okay.
Alright, well, once it seems clear that Mavra's not going to be transforming tonight, Zeklu will probably go ahead and go to bed.
No, but the twitching she's doing in her dreaming is alarming. And as you're watching her, like, is she going to transform? It'll be like, you kind of, it startles you. And she'll suddenly flail around as if desperately trying to get away from something.
Mm-hmm.
sleep eventually takes you as well. And the rest of you, determined to get a full night's rest despite the quite difficult circumstances, finally managed to get a long rest in. As I update the calendar, I will not say what day it is because your characters would have to think about it. Once again, the next morning, Bref, you find yourself naked, tired, your every muscle aching. You dreamed the red dreams again, but without the taste. You've awakened without the taste of blood in your mouth and without Mavra's skin under your fingernails, assuming you cleaned up a bit. Didn't clean up?
Not unless I have to.
In that case, yeah. In that case, you do wake up with blood in your mouth, on your face, and Mavra's skin and flesh under your fingernails.
Actually,
Actually,
these guys are keeping us locked up. I'm not gonna make their job any more comfortable for them.
Yeah. As a weretiger, you do not engage in adorable cat behaviors. Just in case you were wondering. So yeah, you didn't clean it yourself at all. Okay. Oh. Yes. Bref. You did spend the night pacing and throwing yourself against the bars. So you did take 4 damage. You awaken with 4 damage on you. And I don't know if you had any long rest type things, but you did not get the benefit of a long rest. Mavra, despite your bad dreams, you did, so you did heal up. All right. It's another day. The guards come and check on you. Rethom is gruff, but basically not terrible. You're fed. Things are much the same. Already, 3 days into this, time is starting to bleed together. The hours and days, it's getting harder to keep track. There's no windows. There's no helpful online fantasy calendar. There's just the cell, the chains, the weird sounds from down the stairs, the jibes and jeers of the guards that dare to direct them at you. It's numbing, like the magic chains. It's numbing to the mind. Time passes. Once again, feel free to interrupt me at any time. And you're fed your meals. The guy comes by and sweeps. He gives a wide berth to the stairs. He's pale and shivers whenever he looks at it. In the evening, there's another note. Rethom reads it out, simply confirming that the bodies one was taken from your ship. Your ship was boarded under the authority of the Burgomaster, and they found the body that was there, and that, as well as the body of Equitas, was formally cremated.
All right, great.
Payment was collected, and he tells you that the mother letter, the letter to your mother was posted. There's no response, obviously, as of yet.
All right. After he brings me the note, I'll say, "Hey, listen. Do you have a minute?"
The enormous Minotaur stares at you. He leans on his giant axe. I'm a busy man.
Right. Well, rumor has it that you have something of a serial killer problem underneath the dungeon here. And I was wondering if someone was to go down there and take care of that for you, how exactly would that work?
I see you've been talking to people.
It's my favorite pastime.
I could put in a request for approval of such a thing. I assume you would want your gear.
It doesn't seem like it would be particularly useful to anybody if we didn't have it.
You're braver than most. Or more foolish than some. 2 prisoners have tried that during my tenure here. All I ever heard from them again was screams.
Were they happy screams?
That's a good question.
He turns around. You seem strong.
Ziklu will pop his head out of the bars and just say, Ziklu is good at fighting bad things in dark places. Knows how to hide.
You all seem very effective. One of the groups that went down before was very effective as well. A former captain who had killed many pirates proved their mettle in battle. Hung monster heads outside their towns and whatever. Didn't matter. What I'm trying to say is, there is something down there, and it's not friendly. And it might behoove you to proceed with caution and simply wait. But if you would like to make a request, the Old Port family will certainly honor such a thing. It will take 2 or 3 days for approval to come through. And then I would then give you your gear and turn you loose in Le Donjon Oublié. If you come back with proof of having killed Chaikar Hachette and clearing out the old dungeon down there, well, like I said, the Old Port family will honor that.
Well, I think it's really sweet that you don't want to see us all die horribly. But yes, we're certainly interested in the opportunity to die horribly.
All right then. This goes for you and all of your retinue. He looks around, swinging his big horns. Are any of you not interested?
I would not like to die, but am tired of Stone Den.
He walks over to the cage. Well, if you would not like to die, then I recommend you have patience. But do you want approval to go with the rest of these
What
people?
means approval?
Do you want to go down in a dark hole where a terrible monster waits to kill you? But
Yes,
if you kill
his job. Go in hole, kill monster. His job.
Well, all right then. I will bring the appropriate forms, Lady Enderal.
Thank you. I love forms.
They do pass around a release form for your deaths. It all seems... It says... it spends very, very little text on the pardon, and the whole thing is written as though the lawyer who wrote it up was quite certain that anyone who signed this was definitely going to die. And it simply says you acknowledge the extreme danger and certainty of death by entering Le Donjon Oublié, and you and all your next of kin will have no claim against the Old Port family and the Order of the Sacred Bull. Is anyone not signing?
I really like the idea that, like, somebody was in jail, made crazy deal to go down in the hole, and then someone tried to sue because they died.
Yup.
Like, it clearly happened, or they wouldn't have the form.
Mavra and Breath will both sign.
I will mention, just for Matt's sake, because I don't think Frasher would understand this. This is the nobles' prison. This is the rich people's prison.
Yeah, that subtlety is very lost.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he knows he's in jail.
Does he know what jail is?
Probably not.
It's the Stone Den, which was a great bit of character building.
Yes.
By the way, Happy Screams got a laugh from Grimslag in chat. Okay. Okay. He takes the forms. You all have signed your lives away. Is anyone not signing with their real name? Or doing anything funky with the form?
Thrasher is going to put some kind of bodily fluid on this form that is not like a signature, for sure.
He accepts that.
Great.
Probably
I
blood.
haven't asked her, but
Sure.
I imagine Mavra would not include her last name.
Interesting. We'll have to ask her when she gets back. Now, does anyone want to do anything? Because otherwise I'm going to fast forward through the next 3 days.
Typha says,
In tribe, when we have prisoner who's gonna die or get eaten or anything like that, we feeds them real good. Make sure they have real nice meal, real well rested and warm. You helps?
He looks down at the guy who's sweeping up and also wears the chef hat. Double their ration of fried fish.
Fish!
she does a dance.
Bella's just going to try and get multiple sing-alongs going over the course of the 3 days.
So by the time they are going to send you down, they are ready to...
Oh, they're gonna be glad to get rid of us by the time this is over.
Yeah,
We're just
Ziklu
happy
will.
they took away the bagpipes.
Ziklu
Bold
will,
of you
will
to
be
assume that will
drumming.
stop her.
Ziklu will be drumming against the bars in time with the song.
Of course they are going to come by and stop you. But
They're going to come by and try to stop
they're going
me.
to try to stop
Yeah.
you. But nevertheless, there is some musical entertainment that occurs over the next 3 days. They do bring you notes. Just to keep you updated. Your mother writes back and kind of confirms that she is doing as you asked. And says she hopes to be in town for another week and that you'll be out by then.
All right.
There is once again a censored line in her letter.
It's probably cussing.
I mean, I'm going to try and talk the Minotaur into telling me what it said, but, you know, I'm sure that it's not going to work.
All right. So approval does come through. Oh yes, over the next 3 days, life continues in this manner. And if there's anything you want to do in your cell that you can do, you can do so, including sing-alongs. And at the end of those 3 days, approval will come through. So
Yeah, one thing Ziklu would ask Retham for is if he's got any physical items related to the creature, just so that he can try to get a feel for what it is and how he might deal with it.
nothing. All that evidence was destroyed long ago.
Okay, fine. Worth asking.
It would take longer to see if other guard stations have anything in storage.
It's fine. Not a bother.
Okay. Approval comes through, but there's a catch. The Old Port family wants to send in a person to observe you all and make sure that you don't simply use your magic to run away. And to make sure that everything is thoroughly investigated. Essentially, they seem very interested in reclaiming some stuff that's down there from
Is this like in the
generations.
letter that comes down, or is this being explained to us by the guards?
Retham has papers. He has the letter essentially, but he mostly doesn't like to give you guys stuff if he doesn't have to. So he kind of reads it out and explains it. And it seems that in order to facilitate this, they have hired a mercenary. A mercenary whose company has been hired by the Old Port family. Is kind of on retainer with the Old Port family. And this mercenary is brought in and is introduced at the same time as they bring you guys all your gear and unlock your manacles and some of them start jeering about how you are definitely going to die. So while all that is going on, this mercenary from the mercenary company that is retained by the Old Port family, if you can follow the chain of connection there, is brought in, and it seems that he, besides being a rather striking and interesting fellow, was assigned to this particularly because he has a previous mission or investigation that he was conducting, and has been informed that some of you may have information relating to that. So, Nico, you are brought into this area, and there's all this chaos because these people have markings from some of them have been wearing manacles. They look a little rough. They've been in prison for about a week at this point. Yep. A week. And
they smell terrible.
They smell moderately bad. You smelled worse. And,
some of them smell worse than the others.
And please introduce your character. And after you introduce your character, I think we'll probably go on break. Go ahead.
So you guys see a human. He's a human male. He's kind of pretty thin, fair skin, emerald green eyes, fiery red curly hair. He's a relatively handsome guy, he's wearing no armor. He's wearing a pretty normal shirt, normal pants, boots, gloves. If there's anything that's kind of flashy about him, is that he's wearing a cape that's black on the outside and red on the inside. And his probably most notable feature is that he's twirling in his hand a staff that's got a black. The staff itself is black, and it has a brass dragon that's wrapped around it. It's not a real one; it's a engraved brass dragon wrapped around it. And the mouth of the dragon opens up at the top of the staff, and there's a red gem inside its mouth. That if you look in the gem, you can see magic swirling inside. And so he doesn't appear to be wearing any armor. And he walks up to this group, and he's just all smiles, especially when he notices the two kobolds and the lizard folk, and he goes, "Well, it's very nice to meet all of you. My name is Draco Wormfang, and that's absolutely just riveted to go on this adventure with you. What may I have all of your names?"
Your staff is so shiny.
He looks down at you and he is like beaming. He's like it, and he says in Draconic, "Oh, it's very nice to meet one of you, especially, Miss. And I thank you. I'm glad you like my stuff. I rather like it too. It is very shiny."
She beams and she says,
My name's Typha.
Do we need to keep Dragon Man alive?
Well, I can take rather good care of myself, but if I'd appreciate any help keeping me alive.
Do you like
Wh-
that one?
Will you keep us alive?
That'll work.
Good.
I will do my very best, assuming that you don't try to kill me or escape.
If you help keep us alive, we will help keep you alive.
Sounds like a very reasonable expectation of our relationship. And might I say, sir, you are a excellent example of a lizard folk. I am very glad.
Yes,
to
I
meet
am
you.
Lizard Folk. Yes.
Indeed.
I'm assuming that this is the first time Frasher has ever received a compliment.
Almost certainly.
My name's Braff.
Ah, nice to meet you. He goes back to the lizard folk and the two kobolds, and he's to the three of you. He exclusively speaks in Draconic, and he speaks to Ziklu. And what is your name, my friend?
I am Ziklu. I'm from Underdark Place.
Ah, yes, that makes sense. Excellent. And after addressing these three, then he turns to the rest of you and is like, very well then. What were your names as well?
Well, I'm Kiri.
Pleasure to
Nice to meet you.
I already got that one's breath.
So you're here to just keep an eye on us and make sure that we don't escape down the death hole where nobody ever comes back alive?
Oh, no, dear. I mean, yes, all of that is true. But I'm also going to, help kill the thing that's down there. I'm not going to just stand there and watch as you have all the fun. I certainly will be there to assist as well. But yes, technically speaking, my job is to make sure that you don't escape and all that uncomfortableness. But I'm also here to help. I also do have some questions for you, but we can get to that once, Yeah, that's less fun. I personally am more interested in dealing with the beastie we have down there.
Questions for me specifically, or questions for everybody?
Questions for all of you. I believe you might have some information regarding a job that I was involved with before. Am currently still involved with, but is not necessarily directly connected to this, if that makes any sense. I for some reason, I was informed you might know something about my little side quest, if you will.
And what quest would that be?
Well, I suppose if we must get into it, I was investigating some trouble in the sewers of the West Head City Guard, and I was sent to interview you, and if you had any idea of what that was all about.
Phantom thugs, we can find.
He looks kind of like, well, do I know anything about the Phantom thugs, Max?
I just want to commend you. I want to take this opportunity to commend you for rolling with it beautifully, dropping in with barely any info and really making a meal out of it. Well done.
Thank you.
Major props. And you had heard that it was a possible connection, so the fact that he brought it up immediately means that, they do know something, and that confirms a possible link that you had heard of this gang led by the Phantom. And he just confirmed it for you. So that means that this is a lead.
You see like the lights click on in his eyes, and he goes, "Excellent. That's that was one of my leads, and you have just confirmed for me that is what I need to that is what the next line of my investigation needs to go down. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. If you know anything else regarding these phantom thugs and their dealings in the underground, I would very much appreciate it. If you told me.
I think they said something about there being a giant spider down there too.
His eyes light up even more. Oh, I do hope so.
Yes, evil Drider. Stray boss wants it killed. Or captured.
I see. Well, I suppose we must deal with one nest before we deal with another, so are you all ready?
I suppose as ready as we're ever going to be.
Yep.
Let's do this.
Indeed.
Who's going in first?
And with that, as you guys,
Because they are definitely going to die immediately.
as you guys gear up and
Blades.
an outpouring of words and let's say it's a very physical relief to have the magical chains removed and to be out of the cramped prison cell. And they even let you guys wash your faces before going down. It is with great joy, surprisingly, that you head into the stairs going into the giant stone skull, out of which a cold and unpleasant smelling breeze is blowing. And as you guys head down those dark and trepidatory stairs, we are going to go on a quick 5-minute break. So 5 minutes, folks. We'll be right back for more of the Wildlands and Le Donjon Oublié.
think we've got everybody, Max. Matt and Nick.
And we're back. Okay. So. Interestingly, when you guys get all your stuff back, there are a couple of interesting things that happen. One is you get all your stuff back, including your stuff from the inn. And Rethom gives you each a kind of significant look. He doesn't quite wink. Or if he does, it's lost in his enormous, bull head fur. But, he puts your money bag, each of your money bags, which are, by the way, neatly labeled in each of them. And all of your weapons have had their, peace bonding removed. So you actually get all your stuff back. The other interesting thing that happens is they notice that Bella doesn't really have any stuff. And Rethom offers to let you borrow whatever weapon they might have available.
Interesting. Okay, I'll ask for a longbow, if possible.
Okay. Please input on your character sheet a longbow attack without all of your magical bonuses. All right. So, with a borrowed longbow and quiver of arrows, you are also heading down the stairs. Okay. So. There's a feeling of excitement. You're free. You're moving around. You're seeing something different. After a week of basically seeing the exact same thing every single day. You're still underground, of course. You're still in an enclosed space, and you're even still in a prison. It's just an older, worse prison. But it is different. And more importantly, you're not completely trapped. You can move of your own volition. And so your step is light on the steps as you go down. However, gradually, the atmosphere begins to have an effect on you. The excitement fades as your tread goes over the steep, crumbling steps. You are aware of the weight of the stone all around you. The only sound really is your companions. It's otherwise dead except for the strange echoes. These strange echoing noises, just on the edge of hearing, really.
Max, can I? Oh,
yes?
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to determine what the source, or at least an idea of what the source of those footsteps might be? Are they a person? Are they a creature? Do they have 4 feet? Do they have 2 feet? That sort of a thing.
What sort of person is making the footsteps?
What is you said we heard a noise, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to determine, like, what is that noise? And if it's like, if it sounds like it's something walking, then what is walking? What kind of thing is walking? Or what is if not that, what could it be?
Go ahead and make a perception roll.
While he's making that, a quick question. Has this terrain become wild enough that my natural explorer for being in the Underdark would apply, or is it still too civilized for that?
Yeah, you're still in a city.
Okay.
This is not a cave.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good question, though. Definitely, ask.
That's an 18, Max.
Okay. It's just on the edge of hearing, and you're having to listen above the heavy tread of your companions. Several of whom are wearing armor, unlike yourself. But
Or just loud.
it's a metallic clinking noise. It's like the chains that you saw in the cells. It's like there's more chains clanking somewhere up ahead. And the only reason you can hear it above the heavy tread of your friends is that it has that kind of it's kind of echoing, and it sounds somehow strange. It penetrates. And maybe there's a whisper on the air. A kind of... Maybe it's just the sound bouncing around between these stone walls so many times that it becomes this...
I say, friends, did anyone from the prison upstairs mention if there were prisoners kept down here? I didn't think there would be, but I do believe I detect the sound of chains up ahead, or something like it, something mechanical.
No prisoners down here other than the ones who have already disappeared and never been seen again.
And the one we're trying to kill.
Right, the ancient serial killer.
I see. Interesting.
If we can find tracks, then I can tell you more about this guy.
Could we take a second and investigate the area where the path we're going down to try and see if we see any tracks or anything that might lead us to best?
It would be pretty tough in this situation. You're kind of going single file down some narrow and steep stairwell, and you're trying to have this conversation is also difficult, kind of with the sound bouncing around. I would say you'd have to. It would be difficult. It would be very difficult to attempt anything like that, and
Okay.
also a short walk down, just as you're finishing that conversation, the architecture changes. And by architecture, I mean the stonework. It shifts from the more modern stonework up above to an older, more crumbling stone, and a different stone, probably coming from a different quarry. Your screen is about to go black. And if it's not, let me know. The stairway at the point of this changes from a kind of a shaft stairs to a spiral staircase. So it's an entirely different style as well. And you should see that spiral staircase now.
Nope.
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 Yeah, we saw a painting.
We don't have
but
dark vision.
Still nothing visible.
Okay, I may have done the fancy lighting for this page. Let's check. Let's check. Did I do the fancy lighting? Nope, I didn't do the fancy lighting. So why can't you see anything?
It's really dark.
Do I have it
Yeah.
turned on even though I didn't
Black
prepare
on
it?
black,
I
it just
did.
doesn't
I
breathe.
turned on the fancy lighting, but I didn't actually ever take the time to set it all up. So, you should see a spiral staircase now.
Nope.
Nope.
How about now?
Sorry.
That's still just a black square.
Just paint us a word picture.
Okay. Why is it doing that? I turn off dynamic lighting because it would break with this many people, I guarantee it. It's just regular fog of war. Maybe if I take you guys to over here and then bring you back.
I
Yep,
see it.
now we can see
There it is.
That fixed it. Okay. Changes to this crumbling spiral staircase. You make your way down. Each step kind of hitting as it hits the stairs, sending up a bit of dust. A bit of stone dust. Until you reach the bottom. Carrying your heavy packs full of all your traveling stuff, your rations, all your gear, your money,
And
all
Kiri's
your
gonna
worldly
look.
possessions.
Kiri's gonna feel around for a rock or like something she can hold in your hand.
There are several pebbles that you can grab that have broken
Well, she's
off.
And she's gonna cast light on it.
Cool. So you will have the light source. Bing.
Ziklu will be staying out of the light as much as possible.
Same thing with Typha.
Draco will turn to you and be like, "Yes, my dear. That's. Why didn't I think of that? Some wizard I am. I keep forgetting. I always forget to cast light when I'm supposed to. It's like I can't see in the dark, and you think I have the spell for a reason."
Kiri's gonna go. Hey, stick with me, and we'll be able to see things. Because I can't see in the dark either, and it's really annoying.
Quite right.
I can. I will stay away.
I am much better at hunting bad things when in the darkness. I will stay out of the light, but stay close.
You finally get to the bottom of the spiral staircase, and it widens out into some stairs that you can tell widen out into a further room. So you can now organize yourselves however you like. And as you're doing so, it's an odd sound. Quiet, but present. Up ahead.
There's that sound again.
So is this weird serial killer made of chains?
We don't really know, actually.
Although that would be a fascinating encounter.
I suppose we'd better just keep our wits about us and be ready for anything. But, whatever it is, Bruff, I'm sure it'll be susceptible to smell.
I would prefer meat.
I think we probably.
know.
Okay. Ziklu and Typha, you guys have dark vision?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and we're
Ak-
also light sensitive.
Okay. Well, you're not going to be sensitive to the spell light. That would only be to daylight.
It actually says any source of bright light in sunlight sensitivity.
I'm not going to make it
Okay.
apply to the spell light.
Okay.
The spell light.
Can you be fed after midnight, and do weird things happen if you get wet?
Feeding is good at any time. Also, water is good.
Alex turns into a crocodile when I get wet.
Like, reflexively, or is it a choice?
Choice.
She likes to be crocodile.
Blood in the water.
It is strange.
I am revealing stuff, guys. Give me a second.
Fine, we'll play your game.
No worries.
No, I'm just letting you know. Please
Okay.
continue talking. It's great.
Ooh.
You have come to what seems to be a strange sort of entryway to this abandoned prison. Let's talk about the brightest thing in the room first. In the middle of the room, there is a drain with a grate. Around the edge of it, there seems to have grown a bunch of fungus, including this one large purplish, pinkish fungus there. There are bits of chains lying around. For example, here. There are 4 statues made of a similar stone to the rest of it, standing along the walls.
I say Ziklu. Sorry.
Let me just finish real quick.
Okay.
There is a somewhat rotten-looking double doors over here. There is a half ajar, partially ajar door right here. Hopefully you can see that. And there's a passageway that I guess none of you can see around the corner there, that continues off in this direction. Okay, please continue.
I say, Siglu, would those chains on the ground be useful for you to gain any information on our quarry?
Maybe. Let me look. And Ziklu is going to take a look at the chains and see if there's any like pattern to their arrangement, or if there's any other indication of something passing through this area.
Okay. Go ahead and make whatever passes. Yes, survival check for me. And do you want to spend 10 minutes on this? Or I guess first you're going to make a check. Then you might decide.
Yeah. All right, that's a 16.
You ready for this to get weird?
Oh yeah.
Hit
Let's
me.
go.
Always.
Oh, wait.
These chains are not pieces of chain that have been scattered around. It is emerging from the stone like some kind of weed.
Max, I'm not comfortable with our stream promoting drug use.
Like
Listen,
some
Cordy,
kind of
Here,
like
I
some kind of
feel like
tentacle from below.
That's just weird.
Does Ziklu tell us this?
Yes, he will. And then he's gonna say, give me a few minutes time. Need to study. And yeah, he's gonna try to investigate, see what's going on here a little bit more detailed, see if he can get some insight into whatever creature could cause this.
All right, make an investigation check then.
Can I assist him with that? Like, also looking at through the room with him and kind of like pointing things out he might be missing.
Sure. It does, from your survival check, I will say it does feel like a track, but obviously with a 16 you don't get much more than that. Like, you can't.
Right.
Yeah, these aren't
Yeah.
the kind of tracks you're trained to follow.
Yeah, my goal is to try to swap my favorite enemy to whatever caused this. Just to be clear.
Are they made of metal despite growing out of the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Thrasher will try to bite one of the rings just to make sure.
All right, that's a 19 on investigation.
You bite down on one of the chain links and it gives you a funny feeling.
You cut out right when telling me how I died.
It gives you a funny feeling.
Ooh.
And it tastes like rusty metal. The
Good.
19 investigation. I like how you're all just... Are you all just standing there on the stairs? This is going to take him a little time.
I mean, Thrasher's trying to eat a metal chain from out of the ground. I don't know what everyone else is
No,
doing.
Typha, there was something Typha wanted to do.
Before Ziklu just did that?
Yes, I was thinking while he was looking at the chains, actually.
Breath would
Well, hang on a
try and
second.
stay out in front of people as much as possible.
All right. You know what? Don't hang on a second. Continue.
Let's make sure to trigger every trap in the room as fast as we can. Just everybody
Okay.
spread out.
Yes.
I couldn't hear what Jeremy was saying. Bref was going to rush forward before Ziklu could conduct his investigations.
Oh no, I think Breath in general will try and stay, because he's like, if anything's coming, I'm going to be the first line of defense, and so I'm going to try and stay in front of the group. Like, I'm like, there's weird doors over here. There's a passageway. We don't know where this thing is. I need to be ready to protect my friends.
Okay. Well, as you all enter the room, start looking around. Bref is standing ready. I'm going to protect my friends. A sound emerges from the bright fungus that grows around the edge of the drain.
Cordy, is that you?
Oh, I cut it out right at the wrong spot. My bad. I ruined the effect there. The fungus is bursting open, unfolding as all of these little puffs come out of it.
Are the screams coming from it or from us?
The screams are coming from it. It lets out this insanely loud scream. And I'm going to ask Bref, Ziklu, and Draco, and Frasher, everybody who's come in there, really, to make a... I think it's going to be a Constitution saving throw. Let me double check.
I like that the girls are just standing on the stairs watching this happen.
Check or save?
Oh.
See.
I'm a wizard, guys.
That's an 11 for me.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, Brett.
Oh. Oh no.
Time for
I like
curse.
that. I like the modifier on that. Is nice.
This is how our entire party dies.
Okay.
Or all the.
Alrighty. Frasher, Draco, and Bref are stunned by the scream that emerges from the bursting fungus. And therefore will not be able to roll initiative right away, as the four statues stand at attention and stiffly step forward.
Well, this was fun.
Nice knowing you guys.
So I'm going to ask everybody but the people who were stunned, just to wait a second. To roll initiative. But before you roll initiative, select your token on the map. And then roll initiative on your character sheet. Just imagine that feminine scream kind of going on and on and on. And it is... I say it's feminine. It's not really that human. It's very inhuman as it rises in pitch and just makes your ears and head ring. Some of you are more affected by that than others, it turns out. All right. Who is having trouble getting their initiative on there?
Well, shouldn't there only be 4 of us? Or who was affected? Or...
What?
I was not
Never mind.
affected.
Oh, right. I asked
passed it.
some people not to roll initiative. That's true.
Yeah, so there should be 5 of us, because I didn't get hit by it.
Cool. Oh, yes. I'm going to have to pull out a different book for this.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's pretty ominous.
A different hat, apparently, too.
Yeah, I'm going to get out my,
Needs to put on his
my
hat.
my violet fungus hat. Where are you?
So remember that time we got a lot of warnings about how dangerous this would be and just kind of wandered in? Yeah. Go to
Where's your sense of adventure?
Hi, welcome to Dungeons parts of Dungeons and Dragons. We've had encounters with both those things.
We've had lots and lots of dragons, and also lots and lots of dungeons.
Yeah.
You've had adventures with dragons?
Oh, hun. We're technically in servitude to one.
If
You're
we
what?
survive, if we survive this, ask one of them to show you their tattoo.
Yeah, from what we hear too, we killed her mate, so there's like an offer. There's like an opening that's up if you like really want to get it.
No, that's not quite what I meant.
Wait, you killed the dragon's mate and now you're trying to play matchmaker?
It's the least we can do.
Okay. Who has a 0? Oh, me. What did I roll? 13?
Oh gosh, do they seriously have a -3 modifier to that?
The statues stand at attention and then step stiffly forward. Some of you, rather than being stunned, well, some of you were close enough to be stunned, but some of you are simply reacting to this crazy set of things that just happened. And this scream from the fungus rises and rises in pitch, way past the point where it actually sounds like a person, and just vibrates in your jawbones. Erie, you are the first to react to this.
We're going a little off the wall with this, actually, and as soon as that fungus starts up, she's gonna go, I don't think so.
Silence. For the duration, no sound can be created within or pass through a 20-foot radius sphere. Nice. 20-foot radius. That is big.
Yeah.
That is big.
Sure is a good thing that you don't have any wizards in your party who need to speak to cast spells.
I was
Get out
just
of the
about to say
circle.
that spell should basically be called "Fuck you, bards."
Honestly, Akiri's just gonna stay where she is. We can see everything from here. We'll be fine.
There we go.
Sorry, so... Oh, okay, there we are.
I'll get rid of
Wait,
it
wait.
because it's going to get annoying. Okay. So the screaming abruptly cuts off, as does all other sound the clinking, the sound of your friends, and everything else inside that area is going to be happening in absolute eerie silence. Is that where you wanted it, Akiri?
Yep.
Okay. Is your turn over?
Actually, can we move the center of it
Sure.
2 squares back? Sorry, towards the half-open door.
Yes. Just give me a moment.
Perfect.
Okay. Mavra.
Okay. I'm gonna come up to
You
this
can tap your boots.
this statue, and smash it with Dragon's Bite.
Okay. Dragon's Bite.
25.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And 13 damage.
13 damage. Okay.
And then I'm gonna hit it one more time.
1 second.
Oh, okay.
Make an insight check.
22.
Okay. Your magic blade has not been turned aside by much, but this statue, the stone, does seem to resist some of that damage. It doesn't crunch through quite as you hoped.
Okay, my turn's over then.
No, attack again.
Oh, okay. I'll attack again.
Okay.
It resisted some, but not.
18 with 8 damage.
Okay. Once again, this statue, as you smash into it with the green axe, leaving a trail of green glowing smear in the air. It doesn't crunch in quite as hard as you would like, and the statue, as opposed to a person, it has no reaction. Like, it doesn't flinch. It just, the force of your blow shifts it back an inch or two, but the statue itself, it doesn't react. It just kind of takes it.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
Okay. These are statues of doughty warriors, by the way. They look a lot similar to the uniforms you've seen the guards wearing. Sword of the Sacred Bull. Alright, if that's the end of Mavra's turn, the statues now step forward and strike. Mavra, the one you attacked, strikes at you. It gets a natural 1. It did not realize you shifted it back a few inches with its attack, and it swings at you, but it's short. Too far. Thrasher, you're getting attacked. Now, does stunned confer anything special?
Oh, I'm gonna get wrecked.
He's incapacitated, so attacks have advantage against him.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is gonna be bad.
Damn it.
And I think melee attacks that hit also count as crits.
Are you
It's
right
gonna be
about... Is that
real
how
bad.
stunned works?
I'll check.
I'm checking.
Well, it don't
Incapacitated.
matter.
Yeah, incapacitated.
Thrasher is not a bastion of hit points
Wow.
here, so we'll see
That
how this
is,
goes.
man, stunned used to be bad. Now it's terrible.
Oh yeah, it's anything that's incapacitated is absolutely terrible.
At
Okay.
least as long as your DM rolls good.
That's awesome. Thrasher.
Oh no, it's only unconscious that makes you get critical hits.
Yes.
He just can't take any actions.
Yes. Okay. And advantage against him, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Thrasher, what's your AC?
15.
Oh, I haven't set all of the new people's tokens to have their HPs and ACs show up. All right. Well, that's work for another time. All right. 18 is your AC? Did you just say 18?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Thrasher, you may be rocking back and forth as the horrible sound hit you, but then it suddenly stopped, and you blink and look around, and there's a statue attacking you, stiffly moving forward with its axe, and it swings, and you step aside, panicking all of a sudden.
So that's a miss.
That's a miss.
Dude, you rolled the 6.
Good point.
In
I don't know what
absolute
kind of
On
modifier.
advantage.
silence. In absolute silence, Bref is going to be attacked, and I guess Bref. This is all happening simultaneously, so I think we're going to say that you're still incapacitated. Okay. Your AC is 16, and I still miss. Okay. So Bref, never mind. As the sound cuts out, you two twist and shout, but no sound comes out. Ziklu is getting attacked.
Do they rely on dark vision to see me? Because I'm not in the light right now. So if they're relying on dark vision, I'm considered invisible. If they have some other sense for seeing me, then it's
Do you have
normal.
some magical thing making you not in light?
I thought, or the light was 20 feet, right?
Well, you're not in bright light.
I thought the light spell only extended to 20 feet.
No, it's bright light for 20 feet and the dim light for another 20 feet.
Oh, jeez. Okay, then
Yeah.
never mind.
However, it does not even look straight at you, except with these dead stone eyes. So it will swing. Are you stunned?
Nope.
What's your AC?
16.
I might have to roll a double digit sometime. The
I'm so sorry, Matt. It hasn't happened at all. Max, it hasn't happened at all tonight.
Ziklu, your turn.
Alright, so Ziklu was just bending down, investigating these chains, when all of a sudden a statue is attacking him in silence. So he's going to very quickly draw his short sword, and he's going to take 3 stabs at this one.
3.
Because of Dread Ambusher, I'm very good on the first turn of combat.
Oh, neat.
So, first attack is a 25 to hit.
So you got ambushed, but you're like, nope, I'm ambushing. Hit.
Pretty much.
Keep going.
Alright, so that's 9 damage for the first attack.
Mm-hmm. Also roll an insight check when you get to the end of this.
Okay. That's a 9 to hit for the second one.
Miss.
And then for the third one, that's a 26 to hit.
Hit.
So that's going to do 11 damage in total, because the third attack does extra for being an ambush.
Okay.
11 plus 9, right?
I'm actually going to need the damages individually. Okay, 21 insight. You can tell that it is resisting some of the damage. Your strikes are not doing as much as you
Okay.
hoped.
All right. First attack did 9 damage. Second attack did 11 damage.
Got it.
And I am going to I'm gonna shift to be over here, but that's probably it. That's my turn.
All right. Typha the Third.
Okay.
Bella
She
on
does
deck.
not like seeing her friend Brasher attacked. So she's gonna whisper to her staff
Curry, save Thrasher.
to throw it here. And it turns into a giant constrictor.
Her staff turns into a snake.
Yes,
Does she also part the waters?
she has shaped water, but she is not using that at this time.
I mean, in
course.
the first combat, she did create a wall.
Does she put
It's
her
true.
Does she put her hand into her cloak and remove it and it has leprosy? Maybe that's too obscure.
TLDR, Moses was a
TLDR.
And apparently a small lizard creature.
And
just
she's
the-
going to command Kuri to constrict this statue. And now that snake gets its own initiative, though.
Oh, okay, it's gonna act
Yeah,
on your
what
turn.
do you got for snake tokens?
It's gonna act on your turn.
That's fine. So it will construct that statue, and let me read the details on that. One sec.
Is it a venomous snake?
It is not. It is crushing damage, I believe. 1 second.
I have a bunch of snake tokens. They're just not
Let's
showing
see.
up for whatever reason.
It's actually bludgeoning damage. So if it hits, and it's 6+ to hit, it does 2d8 plus 4 bludgeoning damage, and then the target's grappled. So let's roll a d20.
I don't like that one.
So that's a 23 to hit.
It has +6 to attack.
Yep.
Okay.
You gave me this weapon, by the way. I asked you for approval.
Sure. I just haven't seen it in action before. Okay, yeah, 23 is a hit.
So that's 9 damage, and the target is grappled, and it has a DC of 16 to escape the grapple.
Okay, so it's automatically grappled if hit.
Target is, yep, so...
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. Yep.
All right.
And that is bludgeoning damage. I don't know if it makes a difference for the resistance.
Make an insight check.
Okay.
It does make a difference. In fact, while your companion's attacks seem to be doing much less damage, kind of their blades scraping along the stone and being turned aside, the bludgeoning damage actually seems to damage the magic that animates the statue. Alright, is that the end of your turn, Typha?
I still have a bonus action left. One moment. What do I want to do here? Yes, I'm going to use my bonus action to wild shape into a giant spider.
Okay.
Akiri.
Akiri?
I was gonna say Akiri is immensely pleased.
Awesome. Right. Bonus action, wild shape into a giant spider. Akiri's old friend reappears.
She's back!
And then I don't know how we want to represent this, but she is going to use spider climb to climb.
She's gonna get squished.
I don't like that. What do you mean?
I mean, there's not enough room for a large creature where she's standing.
Ah.
So you have movement. You could step forward, for example, and then you would just appear here.
That's fine, I do that.
Okay. Hang on. Okay. That's your bonus action. You now have control over the spider.
Yes, and I'm gonna use the rest of my movement. Well, no, I guess that's where I can go because it's so big. Nope, that's where.
Bella.
Alrighty. Bella is going to cast a spell.
Everyone who is stunned, you're on deck to roll initiative after Bella's turn.
A little cluster of flying winged books zooms around Bella's head. Maximum distance of 15 feet. And she's going to designate that none of her friends are going to be affected by all of these negatives.
Very nice. So is that a 15-foot aura?
Yep. 15-foot radius.
And what color are the books? Purple?
Yeah.
The flying books are there, glowing and flapping.
All right. And I'm not going to move too far out. I'm just going to move right
Next to
here.
me.
Yeah. I'm done.
You got it. Okay, people who are stunned, roll initiative. Did you remember to click on yourself?
I thought I did. It looks like I did.
Don't think
No,
Nico
I
did.
forgot.
That's okay.
I forgot. So
There you are. You can edit yourself. In the initiative, please do. Thank you. Breath. Your friends are under attack. You're under attack. What do you do? Everything is quiet. You can't hear anything.
I very, very quietly rage. And then, let's see, I cannot try and activate my sword because that's also a bonus action. So it will just be a normal roll. I will attack recklessly, though. The skeleton right next... Oh, not skeleton, statue right next to me. For 10. So, that's not great.
10 to hit is a miss.
And second attack... 17.
17, however, is just barely a hit. You actually smash through the stone to scratch it with the greatsword. Make an insight check.
Inside. 4. That sounds about right.
That sounds about right, Breath. You got him! Okay, if that's the end of your turn, then Akiri. What do you do, Curls?
I'm burning through so many spells. Alright. I'm gonna cast Spiritual Weapon. That's just level 2. I'm gonna put it right next to... right there. Preferably.
Could you ping again, please? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I decided that in our game, the spiritual weapon occupies a space, but it doesn't block movement or count for flanking.
Alright, and then she's gonna whack that statue.
Alrighty, roll it.
For 9 force damage. Or sorry, the hit was 13. Which I don't think hits.
A 13 is a miss. The force weapon. What does it look like again?
It's one of the swords. I think it's Dusk Rider.
Wait, what?
I think it looks like Dusk Rider.
Dusk Raider?
Or it's the one of
Night
one
Slayer.
of what's his face's swords.
Night Slayer.
Something.
All right. One of the famed swords of Dacio, captain of the Stormwings. The Stormwings. The sky. The Sword Wings. Thank you. The Sword Wings. Okay. Is that the end of Akiri's turn?
Yep.
For Asher.
Okay, so he's back to his full senses, as much as he ever is.
Yes, he is not stunned.
So he is going to disengage to try to get some distance from the statues. But before he disengages, he has a racial ability to use his bite as a bonus action once per rest. So he's gonna snap at it as he's trying to kind of jump backwards.
If he goes directly backwards, it will be difficult terrain.
Well, he's not literally going to go backwards. I'll do his movement in a second.
Okay.
He's doing the bonus
Gotcha.
action bite first. Is all I'm saying.
All right. So he leans forward and bite, and then like his legs jump backwards.
Yeah. Holy crap!
Okay. So one of the things I do, which you guys should do in future, is set up theme song for whenever you roll a critical. So you have to give me an MP3 file or an MP4 file or whatever it is.
Okay.
You cut out for all of that.
Give me a song file, a sound file, no more than 30 seconds or so. That is your character's theme song, and I will play it whenever you roll a critical.
I'm thinking some kind of like tribal drum thing would probably be
Kind of like it's playing. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, exactly.
And Thrasher gets a critical hit.
Breaking all of his teeth in the process.
Yeah. Well, you actually find a good place to latch on, and you really rip at the magic.
Max, you cut out again. We don't know what you said.
That's the thing about this campaign.
Maybe I'll speak quieter. Maybe it'll work better if I talk quieter. Your teeth find purchase in a crack between, in an angle of the stone statue, and you rip at the magic that animates it, and tear through as you jump back. Go ahead and roll damage
It's
twice.
one extra damage die. This is how this works in 5e.
You double the dice. So it's more fun to roll more dice.
It's just flat d6 anyway, so I'll just roll 2d6.
If you just click the word bite in the chat, it'll do it automatically as well.
It'll do it automatically.
Oh,
Just
right.
click the word bite. And you can also set it so that it will always roll damage, which is one of the settings I can help you with later.
Right, and will it always automatically do the crit damage as well in that case, if it gets a crit?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Anyway, it does 6 piercing, so that's not very effective.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm not going to ask you to roll insight. At this point, it has become obvious.
Oh, well, also Frasher's not aware of it, either way.
Not to me.
Okay.
And then he disengages, and then he moves over to here, kind of in the middle of the room, away from being right up next to things.
Okay. And you disengage as your action because you got a bonus action attack. Draco, your turn.
Okay, this is an important question. Am I engaged with an enemy if they have not been fighting with me?
Yes.
Okay, that was important. So first, as a bonus action, Draco is going to put his hand on his chest, and you'll see like a light kind of glow in his hand as he casts. Every time I try to you put the spell into the chat list, it never works. I hate everything.
You
I
should
don't know
be
how
able
to
to just
do this.
click it.
That's what everyone says. Okay, hold on.
Sorry.
1 second. Okay, there you go.
Ooh.
So it's a bonus action. So I cast it on myself, and then now correct me if I'm wrong, but if you use a bonus action spell, you can then use a cantrip. Correct?
Correct.
Then he's gonna turn right around and cast and reach out his hand and try to, and as electricity crackles around his hand and tries to grab the statue by the arm and do shocking grasp. So that's a melee spell attack. Is he wearing? Are these statues wearing metal armor?
No, they are simply all stone.
They're all stone. Okay, that's fine. 1 minute.
Good question.
Does a 14 hit?
A 14 does not hit.
Freak. Okay, then Draco will just stay where he is and not provoke an opportunity attack. But he now has the ability. I guess I have to declare it. It's fire. He has the ability to breathe fire now for a whole minute, I believe.
So the veins are glowing with a fiery glow in your neck area. Throat area. All right. If that's Draco's turn, Mavra.
Okay. I'm going to get out my hammer and use that.
Okay. Been a while.
No, 11.
Unfortunately, you're not used to the weight of the hammer, and you misuse it, and it strikes at an angle and bounces off the statue. That will miss.
I'm gonna go again.
Oh, okay.
And I still miss.
Bummer. Anything else? Movement? Anything?
Nope, that'll be the end of my turn.
All right. Well, this guy turns and attacks your staff. That is currently wrapped around him in snake form. And takes a swing. Very stiffly in this statue manner. Someday I will get 2 digits, but it is not this day. What is the snake's AC?
1 moment, please. I think it might be 16. 1 second. Actually, his armor class is only 12.
Oh. In that case...
But it doesn't matter. He can only roll 6s.
In that case, I will roll damage. The stone axe smashes down with great weight upon the snake that is partially wrapped around him, constricting him. And it will slice up the snake, dealing 5 slashing damage. Sorry about that notification, viewers. 5 slashing damage. Make a Constitution saving throw for the snake.
Okay. Hang on one moment. $16.
Okay. There's a black substance that oozes out of the white stone of the statue. However, the snake resists the effects.
Just a reminder to try to break the grapple.
Do I have to break the grapple?
Oh, you don't have to.
Nope. And I have no reason to. Because I'm not trying to move. And grapple used to be OP, now it sucks. No, it doesn't suck, but it doesn't, it's for movement.
Yeah, if you're being grappled, it turns out it's easy to stab the thing grappling you.
Turns out. Okay. But it's stabbing a snake and not any of you, so that's pretty effective. And it can't move toward you, so it's forced to do the only thing it can do, which is pretty good. Bref, I rolled against you next, and I got another 6. Ziklu.
Max, did you roll with advantage against me?
No.
Yeah, because I did attack recklessly.
Okay, I'll roll again. This is for you. And your AC is 16. Oh my god, I barely miss. Okay. I did get 2 digits against Ziklu. What's your AC?
16.
I hit Ziklu.
Okay.
Make a fortitude saving throw and take...
I assume you mean Constitution.
Yes. Go back an edition. Go back 2 editions. And roll
I would
fortitude.
prefer to use Strength if you're using the old Fortitude rules.
Strength didn't add to fortitude. It was Constitution.
I thought it was the higher of Strength or Con.
There was no such thing as strength saves.
Okay.
This statue experiences a strange resistance as a misty sword swings out of the darkness and deflects 7 points of that damage.
Cool.
Nice.
Ghost Barbarian.
Well, that's
Well,
awesome.
I guess you don't take any damage then.
And I got a 10 for the con save.
And a 10 for the
Doesn't
con save.
Seem high.
The black material that oozed out of the statue and into your bloodstream begins to alter the composition, the chemical composition of your skin. And you feel stiffness in your joints creeping up from the wound and over your whole body, stiffening.
Oh, crap.
You are restrained.
Okay. Great.
And I have one more attack against Mavra. Bref, did I hit you?
No, you were 1 short.
Got another one against Mavra. Ziklu, it's your turn. You are currently restrained from this weird thing that just happened. A curse.
All right. Yeah, that is not good. I will. I hate to do it, but I'm just gonna attack this statue. I'm gonna draw my second short sword, and so I'm going to attack it 3 times again. I don't have any kind of bludgeoning weapon.
Alrighty.
All right, so first attack is a 20 to hit.
That's a hit.
Disadvantage. So that's going to be 7 piercing damage from that one.
Okay, take some damage.
Second will be a 19 to hit with disadvantage.
Hit.
That's 9 piercing damage.
Okay. Take
And then
some.
my offhand attack is a 14 to hit.
And it takes 6 damage. No, 4 damage.
14 to hit, right? Because it's
Oh,
disadvantage because
14
I'm
misses.
restrained.
14 misses.
Yeah, okay.
Did I edit the wrong HP? I did. Sorry, viewers.
Yep. I did 7 and 9.
There we go. Okay.
And that's my turn.
All right. And Ziklu is feeling a bit stiff over there. Typha, your turn.
Okay. Well, the first thing I will do is continue the grapple on this guy. So I've got a question for you about that. So he has 2 potential attacks. One is a bite, which is piercing damage. The other is grapple damage. I'd like to obviously continue doing the grapple damage since it's bludgeoning and it's more effective, but I do already have this guy grappled. I'm assuming, though, flavor-wise, he is still constricting.
Right.
So can I still do the bludgeoning damage to him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's try doing that. Ooh, that is a natural 20.
All right.
I love Kuri. He's great.
What is Typha's theme music eventually going to sound like when you get me the file?
Oh, dear me. It should be something druid and Enya sounding, but I'm sure instead it'll be like K-pop, so...
Enya meets K-pop.
Think
Got
about
it.
that.
All right. So roll double the dice. Roll twice as many dice for damage.
Okay, so that'll be 4d8 plus 4.
Jeez. That's a nice crit. This is against what? This is against the snake against the statue?
Yes, Jesus. Holy cannoli.
Wow. So that's 11 damage.
Well, that is bludgeoning.
It's bludgeoning damage.
The snake squeezes after getting stabbed. There's a loud crack, and it pops the stone head of the statue off, which crashes to the ground. The statue falls, cracks open, collapsing completely into pieces. And in the middle of the statue is an onyx heart among the white marble.
Interesting.
Typha, that was your snake. What are you doing?
Alright, well, the last thing I'm going to do is command the snake, which I think you're actually controlling, to move here.
Okay.
And I'm going to command it to
Save breath.
So next turn, it's going to try constricting this one. And then, well, actually, I can't. Well, actually, never mind. I have a telepathic link to it, so I can speak to him while I'm
Cool.
shapeshifted. And then I am going to fire webbing at
That's pretty funny.
this statue here.
All right. Does it make a save or do you make an attack?
I make an attack,
Okay.
and I have pack tactics on
Alright.
it, so I will be making
Cool.
that roll with advantage.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry, one sec. Okay,
That was some
so
big
that's
damage.
gonna-
22.
So that's a 19 to hit with webbing.
That's a hit.
Okay, so that statue is restrained. And then it can attempt to get out with a DC 12 strength check.
Cool.
And it occurs to me it might be a good idea to get out of A. So she's going to move here.
She's half silenced. Bella, your turn.
Alrighty. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move there.
Okay. It is your responsibility to remind me to make
Yeah.
saves for the enemies on their turn.
For sure. Actually, I'll move there. And I am going to cast a spell on Draco.
Oh, yay.
Have some temp HP.
OMG, thank you.
You're welcome. You're also immune to being frightened, but I don't know if that's relevant at this time.
Heroism. Very nice.
Ooh, how many temp hit points do I get?
Oh,
4 or 5.
well, it's relevant to my spell casting ability modifier.
So your charisma modifier.
So 4.
There you go.
So it's not the bone. No, that's my attack bonus. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Actually, Bella, heroism is concentration.
Well, garbage. Why are all my spells concentration spells?
Because that's how they've designed this edition to balance spells.
Well, would you rather have some healing?
I mean, I'm not hurt at all, so I think I'm fine.
Can you reach Zeklu with some heals or something to fix
Yeah, I'll
his-
hit Ziklu with hills.
All right.
Zeklu's actually not hurt either.
But he's got the thing
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, he's restrained.
Well, I can't really do anything about that. Who's hurt?
No one yet.
Statue.
Snake.
The snake.
Well, I'm horribly useless then. I guess I'm just gonna shoot this guy with my bow and not do any damage.
You'll do something.
No, I won't.
It'll look cool.
It'll look real cool when her arrow bounces off harmlessly.
That's
And
a
hit somebody
13.
else.
That is a miss if you're shooting at a statue.
Yep. I'm done.
Okay.
Useless me. At least they're gonna start their turn in my aura, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And on that note, it is past midnight here on the East Coast, so we are at the end of this session. I don't love stopping in the middle of combat. Nobody loves that. So make notes of what you are currently suffering or are concentrating on, or what's going on. And we are going to call it for tonight. Thank you all very, very much for joining me. That was really fun, you guys. Welcome to Nico joining the group. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And well done rolling with the intro, which it's always like that.
No, thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
So yeah, thank you to Grimslag, Taladar, the man with no screen name, everybody who came to join and watch the stream. That was a lot of fun for us. We hope it made interesting viewing as well. I will say thank you to Beref, player of Jeremy. I said that wrong intentionally. Thank you to Jeremy, player of Bref. Thank you to M, player of Akiri. Thank you to Danielle, player of Mavra. Thank you to Kirsten, player of Bella. Thank you to Nico, player of the newly introduced Draco. Thank you to Corey, player of Ziklu. Thank you to Matt, player of Frasher. Thank you to Taifa. Thank you to Lindsay, player of Taifa. Thank you all very, very much. You guys are awesome players, and it is kind of awesome to get you into a classic dungeon. As most of this campaign has been about overland travel, with a few dungeons here and there, this is fun. This is really fun.
Yeah, thanks for GMing, Max. This is awesome.
I don't like screaming.
As my
fun
character
guy.
is getting slowly petrified.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. You think you know what's going on. What was I gonna say? Well played, you guys. That was very, very interesting role playing in all of the in the dungeon, in the prison, and beyond. I think we are on for next week, but I'll mention in the Super Commodore Discord if anything changes. So come back 1 week from today for for more of the Wildlands campaign in Le Donjon Oublié, the Forgotten Dungeon, which, by the way, I designed, I think, like 5 months ago. So this has been sitting ready for you guys for quite some time now.
Okay, change your plans. We're just gonna sit and wait for our release through legal channels.
Yep, just go back up the stairs.
Can anyone show me how to make an audio file? Because I know exactly what I want my theme song.
Well, why don't you take some time over the week and make the perfect theme song? We are going to bid all of our viewers good night, and thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. That was awesome.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.